That boat there that was out in the middle of the ocean was flipped over. As you can see, is a man swimming behind it to it. That is a rescue swimmer looking to get to this boat before then that huge wave capsized both him and the boat. There's details about that boat. It's actually, there's so many layers to this story. It was actually stolen. But before we get to more details about that, let's watch more of what happened.
Due to the dangerous conditions, the Coast Guard decided a boat rescue wouldn't be possible. So they sent Petty Officer 3rd Class Branch Walton, a rescue swimmer, to carry out the mission. But then this happened.
I kind of got thrown around a little bit by the wave, and then when I came up, I noticed that the boat was pretty much in shambles and kind of split in two.
Despite the rogue wave and capsized vessel, Walton reached the survivor.
As soon as I got up, I let the helicopter know that I was okay. Started looking around immediately, and it worked out perfectly.
After crews pulled the man to safety, he was taken to the hospital. The Coast Guard posted the videos and this picture.
That picture then led to the next steps here. Okay, we have this badass, Walton, I guess the only name I caught from that, who swam in the middle of this and still got to the man on that boat, despite all the disaster that went down. And then they posted that picture, a harrowing rescue. Look at this guy. Can you believe it? He's good to be alive. And then some folks looked up and said, wait a second, that guy's been on a crime spree. I recognize that guy, including folks that were harassed at their home by this guy. Let's watch how that went down.
The person rescued was the same man accused of putting a fish on the porch of the Goonies house 2 days earlier, Jericho Labonte.
One of my buddies was like, dude, you will not believe what just happened. Like, check this out.
The new owner of the Goonies house, Bayman Zachary, isn't surprised when people stop by, but he was surprised to see this.
But he pulls out this gigantic, like, fish that obviously is not alive, and just places it. And, being from Kansas City, like, you got to wonder, is the guy sending a message and I'm going to be sleeping with the fishes or something, Fast
forward to Friday. Astoria Police Chief Stacy Kelly explained they were piecing all this together when they got a call from the Coast Guard.
The connections were being made that it was the same person and that he was at the hospital.
Around 7:30 Friday night, officers arrested Labonte at a warming shelter in Seaside on charges of theft, endangerment, and unauthorized use of a vehicle.
So they got him, saved him, then got their man. Other folks, of course, risked their lives for him after he took off in this boat. But again, he shows up at someone's house, drops a fish on it, moves on. He's been apparently the Canadian police up in British Columbia were also searching for him as well. This guy has been wreaking havoc all over the place. Let's jump down to the next graphic after that. Graphic 2 though, you guys, because police in Astoria said that they had been looking for Labonte since Wednesday. And although they didn't know who he was at the time, of course, jumping through boats and that type of stuff, they were looking for that man who had posted a video of himself on social media, placing that dead fish on the front porch. Again, you guys heard this, of the Goonies house. Yes, that's the same house as from the 1985 Steven Spielberg film, The Goonies, and one of the city's most popular tourist attractions. He also was seen dancing around the property. Here's a picture of that house. I saw Goonies a very long time ago. It's like I've never seen it. So I wouldn't have recognized the house. Maybe it's the orange deck and highlights there that has people figuring this whole thing out. But there's something that stuck out to me here in this image. It said this fan was buying the famed Goonies house for $1.7 million. Sorry, third side note on this entire thing. I looked up the median rental prices in Astoria, Oregon. Yes, I did, It is like $499,000. So strictly because this 1985 house from the Goonies is the 1985 house from the Goonies, it went for 1.7 mil. I guess the fellas down there off on the right side of the screen made it famous. There's so much going on here. I'm not really sure if the police even know what they've gotten themselves involved with, Jess.
I think it's disrespectful they're calling him a criminal. Someone who steals a boat is a pirate. Call them what they're supposed to be called. This guy's a pirate. He put a fish on somebody's porch. That's pirate stuff to me. I don't know. Everything that went down. What, Jayar?
He's all the way in, no matter what. We gotta put like a dog. You gotta put a fish.
He's committed to the lifestyle.
Man of the water.
Our country's become one big GTA lobby. My buddy Troy says, New York City's a big GTA lobby. I think it's the whole country at this point. And you can steal a boat in GTA. You go up next to it, you press triangle. I mean, that's what's going down here. We live in a GTA lobby.
Don't show off. I played GTA. I haven't played in years, so I apologize for that whole thing. No, I need to make sure we highlight the best person in this entire thing. Let's go back to Walton. Right. You guys can run him next to me if you want. This guy was dropped in by a helicopter. He works for the Coast Guard, or is in the Coast Guard. Drops in by helicopter, and imagine how many people on Earth would want to be dropped into these waters to go and pull folks off of a boat that can't stay afloat. And the reason they dropped them in is because they're like, I'm not sending a boat in there, you crazy? So this guy has to be the crazy one. At what point in your life do you go, I'm gonna be a rescue swimmer. Drop me in the middle of this. It couldn't be me.
This is a story about superheroes and pirates, JR.
Absolutely. Hey, it's like a Marvel movie.
That's Aquaman.
Look at this guy. This guy deserves like all the medals and money that you can send him. Let's find his GoFundMe.